I couldn't have said it better myself. Right folks, a little bit of a walk to get out to the water. Not for one in bare feet, not that I had bare feet, but you wouldn't be able to do that in bare feet. Loads of gravel, pebbles, cockles, and different types of clams and stuff, you know, not all cockles. There are different types of mollusks available, many. The tide is slightly going out. I think I got my tides wrong. It's slightly going out. I'm on the turn though, but I'm drifting slightly. Let me just flip the camera around and show you the sorts of things I can see at the moment. It's pretty impressive out here today. It always is, normally. So there we go, folks. Sun's just sort of hidden behind those clouds. Exmouth, of course, is across there. And then we sort of scroll around. And I'm going to zoom in a bit. Yeah, I know it sort of changes these lenses on these cameras are impressive, but they just sometimes just catch the light slightly differently. If I zoom right in here, there you go, there is Exmouth Church there. Up here, of course, you got Lympstone, historically, anciently known as Lympstone. You would have seen that if you'd watch my Monument to Invention video. And of course there is Starcross. That is not a church, that is the Monument to Invention. I'll tell you all about that later. Loads and loads of train wildlife going on here today. I think that something stirred them up, maybe, you know, someone's just nudged a nest or something, but there's loads of trains around. I want to try and get you footage today of both GWRs, and there are some cross countries. I know we don't like them quite as much. I know they're a little bit sort of arrogant almost, but we'll get some. We're going to head upstream, which is that way. Yeah, that's right. Let's zoom out a little bit. I'll show you. That way. Yeah, that's where we're heading. That's upstream. Now what I'm going to be doing is I would say in about 10 minutes time the tide will actually change and it'll be with me, but it's neapies at the minute. Spring tides and neap tides. Oh, do you hear that sound? That wasn't me, that was a train. Let's see if we can get what that train is as he comes through now. Let's just quickly flip the boat around, as I would like to say. And look, this is first train of the day, folks. Now you'll probably be able to guess this. Let's zoom right in. From the sleek lines, that almost aerodynamic front that is so common to these trains, and just the elegance of this train as it comes through now. There we go. So say it out loud and proud, folks, if you know what that train is. Many viewers from the past will go, yeah, I know that in a blink. I don't even have to think, because I know it in a blink. But there it is, folks. I'll tell you what it is right now. That is what we in the trade call, folks, a GWR. Read them and weep, folks. Read them and weep cross country, I say, because the GWR are here and they're rocking and they're rolling towards Exeter. On we go. On we go towards Exeter. We're not going to get that far, but on we go. Sun's just come out. I'm out from Starcross now. Sun's just come up. It's beautiful, isn't it? Loads of Canada geese going over. Not Canadian, they're Devonshire, but they're called Canada geese. How crazy is that? I wonder if in Canada they have Devon geese. Answers on a postcard, folks. So there, let's zoom in a bit. See if we can zoom in. There we go. Ooh, here we go. Let's zoom in. That is, of course, I call it the monument to invention. It is the atmospheric railway, as invented, created by Isambard Kingdom Brunel, IKB as I like to call him, as he probably would like to be called himself. There's another of those somewhere. Come on, folks. Say that loud if you know where there's another atmospheric railway pumping station. When I say it, you'll think, oh yeah, I know that now. I never knew it was that, you'll say. Right. Clue. It's in Torquay. What? Torquay? Yeah. Got to be near a railway, isn't it? I'll tell you where it is, folks. It's where Lidl's is in Torquay. That's the next monument to invention. I can't think of any others, but there's one in Torquay where Lidl's is. Have a look next time you're driving past or going over there. Anyway, on we go up the river, because now the sun's out. It's beautiful. It was beautiful anyway. On we go. Quite a way upstream now. It's quite warm with the old hat on. Always wear a hat in the winter, folks, because it keeps you warm. That's the idea. Behind me over there, there's a sandbar. I'll show you. All along there, it's about 50, 60, maybe 80 yards out from the railway line, just upstream from Starcross. Now, as we go, oh hello, we've got another train coming through, folks. We'll pick that one up as he goes past. Over this way, I'm going to zoom right in now. Okay, here. Right, this is what we in the trade call Powderham Castle. A lot of you know that. Like, yeah, we know it, Steve. We know it, Steve Dog. We know it. We've been there. We've seen Elton John over there. You know, he had a cup of tea with us in a little cafe. You know, I get that. Hello. Here we go, then, folks. Coming into screen now. There you go. Look at that. Another beautiful little GWR. But anyway, there's two elements, there's two components you can see to Powderham Castle. You can see the main castle is that lower section in grey, and there's a higher sort of almost like sandstone red above. That's a tower. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a new feature now, which is, hey Steve Dog, what's that tower behind you all about, mate? And could you actually research it properly for us this time? Oh pal feature. So that's what we're going to do, folks. I'm going to go back to the studio now, right now. Well, not now, but I'm going to go right there right now, and I'm going to tell you all about the folly, as I call it. What's a folly? I'll tell you all about that in a moment, when both said structures were constructed in a little potted history, and then we'll come back here and continue on our journey. Let's do that right now. Back to you, Steve Dog. Thanks, Steve Dog. Powderham Castle was actually the home, and is the home of the Earl of Devon. That's right. It is the home of geese and toy castles as well as owls. In 1844, Isambard Kingdom Brunel built the atmospheric railway through the grounds of Powderham. The Earl of Devon, current Earl of Devon, Charlie Courtney, is currently upgrading the castle to its former glory. The castle hosts many events each year, including banquets where they serve their famous cockles of curry inclination. That's Powderham Castle. Back to you on the water, Steve Dog. Thanks for that, Steve Dog. Well, I found those facts enthralling, interesting, and somewhat fun as well. Talking about fun, we're going to have more fun heading up the river now, because Brekkie is calling. It's another train across the river on a track over there as well, folks. Brekkie is calling. here's an interesting thing. I'm going up this river and I'm looking into the distance and there's some hills up there and I'm thinking, oh, it's Rippentor up there. It's not, is it? I'm on a different river. You can't see Rippentor from here. No sirree. Those are just some hills. I don't know. There's no Rippentor, Haytor, Saddletor, Haytor. None of that going on this river, folks. So get that out of your head right away, young man or lady or person or whoever. Right, on we go. I want to get past that boat. I think that white one he's a beauty, isn't it? Let's go and see what that boat's called right now. I want to do it in about 3 seconds time using the power of technology and hard graft. I'm going to go over there now. I reckon that boat, from its sleek lines, from its elegance, is going to be called something like the Ocean Mist. Let's go up there now and see what it's actually called. Let's do it now. 3, 2, 1, 0. So there you go, folks. There is the boat. It's not called the Sea Mist or whatever I just said a second ago. It's called Philomela. It's nice to say, isn't it? But it doesn't really mean a lot. I reckon it's a concoction of a name. I reckon there was someone called Phil and someone called Pamola, Pamola. Don't work, does it? Philomela. Don't like it. Just think, there could have been, you don't just add two people's names together. It just doesn't work. You can have all sorts, you get rude words and everything. Yeah, you could. Be all over the place. You don't do that. Little nautical tip for you there, folks. If you're going to name a boat, just pick out a decent name. Don't go and try and form a Frankenstein combination of two people's names. It just doesn't work. Philomela. I can't even say it. I like trying to say it. I've always liked trying to say it, but I just don't like it. Don't like the word. I like trying to say it. I like trying to say row mops, but I don't particularly like row mops. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. Anyway, let's have a look around. It is glorious out here, folks. Absolutely. Now it is glassy. Tide is absolutely on the turn. It's like dead still, I would say. The boats are just turning around. So maybe you'd say, oh no, that means it's coming in now, Steve. It means it's just on the way in, pal. Maybe it does. I'm not going to find a beach today to have brekkie on, because if I go carry on upstream, it's going to take me a little while to get to Powderham or Starcross Yacht Club, I think they call it. And I've got to drag up the beach and it's, it's pebbles and all that. So I'm going to eat my little bit of brekkie now, my little breakfast bar. Have a little drinky, which is water. Hear that? Yeah, do you hear that? That noise, that's an oyster catcher, folks. Yeah, I'm going to sit here, listen to the oyster catchers, watch the trains go by, have a bit of brekkie, head back downstream to Cockwood. Lovely, isn't it? Lots of bird wildlife out here today, folks. Really, really nice. Anyway, eat my grub, crack on, Steve, dog. Is that a train coming? Is that really a train coming? Nah. Hang on, boy. Here comes one now. You're thinking, oh, give us something different this time. You've given us two. Hello, here we go. There's two trains coming through, folks. So, first of all, let's just go through this. Take it slow with you, folks. Some of you I know don't pay attention, you can't keep up. That there one going right to left is what we call a GWR, folks. Just remember that phrase, GWR. Reap them and weep, please, Mr. Cross country. And now the other one, it looked like they were going to hit each other, but they're on different tracks, so don't worry about that, folks. That other one coming the other way, that's what we in the trade call a GWR. That's right, that's a slightly different train, and the eagle-eyed of you will notice that is what we call a longer train. The other one is what we call a shorter train. That one there is what we call a longer train, folks, and that is a reflection of the length of the train. That's typically how that kind of classification works. Anyway, I'm gonna have my brekkie. and stop talking claptrap for a moment, and on we go. Right folks, there, look at that, it's beautiful, isn't it? This is looking in towards Cockwood Harbour again. We got another train going by. Yep, you know this type now, you know this variety. That is a GWR, folks. Cut straight to the chase on that. It's been beautiful out here today. It's absolutely perfect. Now, of course, when's the best time to go out paddleboarding? Well, I always like to get out early if I can, because quite often you get a flatter, immediate sea state or water state. The air on the land hasn't had a chance to heat up, particularly in the summertime this, and there's less movement basically. But tides were wrong today really. If I waited for another 4 hours, I could have had the tide with me on the way up and the tide with me on the way back, but instead I was going against the tide, but a neap tide, so not that strong. So even now I'm sat and I'm hardly moving, probably drifting very nominally upstream, but that's because it's only a neap tide. So neap tides, many of you will know this, they basically don't go up as high and drop down as low as a spring tide would. So there's not so much range between the high and the low tides, which means there's not so much flow, yeah, so there's not so much current. So it's just something to be mindful of, and it can affect access and egress to the water. It can affect the conditions out on the water, because when you're in the middle of that tidal flow, so midway between low and high tide, you get a faster flow of water as well. So all these things to consider, wind direction of course, and just when you can get out yourself, you know, all these things to consider. But when you do get out on a morning like this and you get these glassy conditions, you know, enjoy it, make the most of it, because it doesn't happen all the time, particularly at winter time. Been really good bird wildlife out here today. Loads of wading birds, so I've seen egrets out there, I've seen herons, there's some cormorants out diving in the water for their breakfast, and a few sat up on boats and things like that. There's some I think they're probably curlews out there, and some red shanks, and also some oyster catchers. So you've got all sorts out there, and loads of sort of ducks and stuff as well. I don't know them all, I don't know, and different gulls, and plenty of swans. And that's it. I'm going to shut up now about the birds, but there's loads of them out here, folks. Get out on the water. I'm going to get in now. I'm going to have a bit of a paddle in. I'll have to get on the front of the board when I get in shallow, because those the fin will catch on the bottom. I'm getting as far as I can. Then I'm going to have to walk up underneath the tunnel and back to base. So, is that a train I can hear come in? Let me have one last look. I did actually see a cross country earlier, folks, but you know, we can live without that. We can show those another time. Let's get in. Safely back in the car. Phone ran out of juice, so I couldn't give you any beautiful scenic shots at the end. Hope you enjoyed that trip. It was cold out there, so if you are going out this January, this late winter time, whatever, wrap up. Get your feet warm, get your hands warm, wear a hat. Catch you guys on the paddleboarding, schmaddleboarding flip side. I couldn't have said it better myself.